Hey Spirit Tribe, Gigi here with Spirit Readings, and I'm so glad and so happy that you're able to join me here today, taking a look at the month of September for Aries. So wherever you happen to have Aries in your birth chart, or if you're just wanting to check in on an Aries, hello and welcome. I'm so happy to have you here today. So we are getting messages from your guides, your angels, you know, your spirit team. So we have this angel here which says spiritual guidance, protection from harm. Your angels are here to let you know that they are working behind the scenes on your behalf for your highest and greatest good. Please keep in mind that there are so many of us, so not everything may resonate, and that's perfectly okay. You can just set it to the side for someone else or for later even. You know, it may make more sense as events continue to unfold. Anything and everything is possible when we believe. So if it doesn't apply, you just go on ahead and you let her fly. No harm, no foul, no big deal. If you are new here, please keep in mind that I have had strokes, so you know that can affect my memory. I can really struggle to find my words or even get them out. You know, I do get tongue-tied. I also have tremors, which can make shuffling a bit of a challenge for me sometimes, you know, especially when it feels like I'm being zapped in my hands, because, you know, whenever that happens, I drop whatever I'm holding, cards included. I also have glaucoma, so sometimes I do have to bring the cards a little closer to my face so I can see them properly. So just bear with me and ignore the air conditioner complaining about how hot it is in the background. The message gets out the way that it is meant to eventually, right? Okay. Everything that you need to know about me, about this channel, you can find that in the description box down below, especially if you would like to book a personal private reading with me, or if you would like to purchase something on my wish list, whether it's a card deck or something for my household or something for my fur babies, or if you would like to make a donation. All of that can be found in that description box down below, so make sure you check that out. So before we get into cards, we are going to get an Enchantress guide message here. Hang on just a second, my doggos and kitties are in here with me because it's cooler. Petey, quit. So you may hear background noise from them as well. So all right, we're going to get an Enchantress guide message. Spirit, Aries, September 2025. An Enchantress guide message. What is it that Aries needs to know? Ooh, you got enlightenment. So enchantment for enlightenment. That is kind of a mouthful. To dissolve those things that clog up our daily connection to the divine, perform this enchantment. Take a magical bath to connect with the purity of your spirit. To begin, clean your tub. Then draw your bath and shut off the water. Gently pour some sea salt from your palm into the water. Stir it around, step into your bath and get comfortable. Dip your hand in the water, touch your third eye and say, Enchantress, enlightenment, your gift dwells within me. I am truth and I am beauty. Ooh, I love that. Feel your doubts which separate you from truth and beauty. Slip into the water and become purified. Surround yourself with love and light. And then, you know, when you pull the drain, all of that toxic negative energy gets transmuted back into the earth. The earth turns it back into light, positive energy. I love it. All right, we're going to get some influence of the angels tarot messages here for you, Aries, this month of September. Thank you, guides and spirit, for your guidance, your wisdom, and your truth in all matters and in all things and at all times and in all ways. All right, we did have some flyers here. We got the Five of Pentacles coming in for you. We've got the King of Cups coming in for you. And we have the Tower coming in for you. These all flipped out. Let's get one more here, Spirit, for Aries for this month of September. All right, man, the cards are talking for you today. You also got the Hermit. So, you know, two major arcana coming in here. So, all right, let's see what you need to know here. We got the Five of Pentacles. Now, Pentacles is earth energy, and earth is the power of your physical body. And fives represent trouble, instability, unpredictability. Ooh, yuck. So we have symbols here. We have a church here. The stone church represents laws, rules, and ethical standards that exist within a society. It also signifies physical and moral strength, standing in stark contrast with the people outside. We also have a wintertime setting out in the cold, right? Physical discomfort and hardship. And we have people, outcasts, left out in the cold as amputees. They literally can't stand on their own 2 feet. They are physically and perhaps spiritually handicapped, damaged, destitute, bankrupt, and broke. Man, that paints a very bleak picture there. How did this happen? Are they victims of a cruel society, or have they brought this hardship upon themselves? Perhaps it's a little bit of both. They represent impoverishment, financial, material loss, poor health. You know, they're not in very good health. They're amputees. You know, they can't get around very well. Injury, illness, and difficulty, or an inability to adequately care for oneself. Pentacles sewn onto the people's garments. The pentacles are reminiscent of the stars the Jews were forced to wear by the Nazis before and during World War II. This depicts how human beings can be designated and treated as things, and how objectification can lead to immorality and sin. Viewing any sentient being as a thing leads to spiritual erosion. The 5 designated pentacles also represent the idea that individuals are often assessed or judged based on their material value. Example, seeing a wealthy hedge fund manager as better than a low-income daycare worker. Some direct meanings: financial hardship, lack or downgrade in money, job or residential situation, insecure, hitting bottom, general misfortune and difficulty, poor health, injury, illness, discomfort, needing assistance, asking or not asking for help, being an outcast, unacceptable, or rejected by normal society, using material standards to judge the worthiness of a person, including oneself. Spiritual bankruptcy that comes from treating people and other conscious beings as things. The shadow meaning here is personal ethics can be compromised by hardship or stress. But the angelic message, may you have the strength to endure your situation and find hope in the comforting resources that are available to you. You know, sometimes you know, the church is literally right there. You know, if they could just make their way up, you know, and come in out of the cold, that would be a great help. But at the same time, it's like, why are the people in the church not coming out to help? Like, that's where I'm coming from, right? All right, the King of Cups. Now, kings are concerned with leadership and are often related to foundation and structure. And the King of Cups, cups is water. Water represents the power of our emotion. And pictured here is Erasmus of Rotterdam, circa 1466 to 1536. And hopefully I said that right. If not, it's okay. Erasmus was a brilliant writer and scholar who lived during the unsettling times of the Protestant Reformation. Urged by both Catholics and Protestants to take sides, he was critical of many church abuses, and how fitting that you have the church there in that Five of Pentacles, right? But remained Catholic his entire life. He sought to reform the church, and much of his writing laid the foundation for religious tolerance. Though he was born in the Netherlands, Erasmus was a citizen of the world and lived at different times all over Europe. He was known to be a good teacher, and some of his students became lifelong friends and patrons. Erasmus, a prolific writer, wanted his books to be affordable, so whoever wanted to read them would have access. His best-known work was In Praise of Folly, a satire on superstition, human nature, society, and religion. It was a bestseller in Erasmus's own time and is still read today. Symbols: we have a window open with light pouring into the room. The window represents an open mind and heart. We have books for knowledge and education, and we have a globe, concern for broad matters, not just those that affect Erasmus personally. Direct meanings: emotionally mature, secure, resilient, well-balanced, calm and at ease, old soul wisdom and an understanding of human nature, sympathetic, tolerant, kind-hearted, concern for the well-being of others, humane, adept mediator, able to calm things down, gives good advice, and is a good teacher. Now, shadow meaning: easily identifies the foibles and sins of fellow human beings and cynical about the state of humanity. But the angelic message: may your understanding of human nature set an example of wisdom and tolerance for others. Ooh, okay. The angels have spoken, right? Petey, quit. Pete. Sorry, you guys. They don't ever want to listen, and then you got to holler at them, and then they look at you like, hey, you don't holler at me. All right. Next up, we have the Tower coming in here, and I'm going to try to pronounce this name. Barachiel is known to be chief of the guardian angels and is considered the angel in charge of lightning. Symbols: tower on a hill. As a structure, the tower represents mankind's structured ideas: philosophy, religion, science, technology, civics, and the institutions associated with them: schools, churches, government, etc. Man, churches are coming in here big time. Prior to being hit by lightning, the tower sat firm and erect on a very high hill and represented the highest or best in human achievement and ideas. The tower is being destroyed by lightning and symbolizes the destruction of ideas and institutions that have become old and obsolete. It represents flawed, unproductive, or worthless beliefs or situations that get in the way of personal happiness, healthy behavior, and clear thinking. This tower is also reminiscent of the biblical Tower of Babel. In that story, the people of Babylon wanted to build a tower tall enough to reach heaven. They were driven by the idea of a worldwide fame and admiration. God saw that they were more focused on themselves and the tower than on him, so he stepped in. At the time, every person on earth spoke just one language, but suddenly they began to speak in different languages. The Babylonians were unable to finish building the tower because they could no longer communicate with each other. God then scattered the people over the whole earth. The Tower of Babel story is about hubris, arrogant pride in oneself and one's own accomplishments. The Tower card shows hubris put in its proper place, knocked down, just as God put an end to the Babylonian tower. We have lightning. One bolt has already hit the top of the tower, with another about to strike. The lightning causes the top head of the tower to break from the bottom. The lightning represents shock, shattered concepts, and disruption. The break indicates a break from old ideas and situations and the need for change. Direct meaning, rude awakening, realizing the truth, long-standing beliefs are suddenly shown to be wrong or false. Shock, mental or emotional disruption that happens after being enlightened by the truth. Assessing the situation and acknowledging the need for rebuilding. Arrogant or false pride that is knocked down and put in its rightful place. Unexpected news or events that cause change or the need for change of a situation or one's systems of beliefs. Disruption of the status quo, a shock to the system, abruptly breaking away. Shadow meaning, complete instability, feeling unmoored, adrift, rudderless. Angelic message, when you overestimate your own accomplishments, when you think you're worth more than you actually are, when you have no humility, when you're filled with arrogant pride, you are guilty of hubris. See yourself realistically with humility. It will help you avoid causing damage and harm to yourself and others. So, this tower fell, and maybe that's why, you're injured, you're out in the cold, and it's not the best of times, right? And maybe you're breaking away from dogmas and religious, traditions and stuff like that as well. We also have the Hermit coming in. Now, Hermit is the energy of Virgo coming in, and Virgo is the first half of September. So I'm going to try to say this name. Rimliel, the angel of awakening, helps us see the difference between illusion and truth and guides us in our journey of self-discovery and spiritual awareness. On this card, Rimliel takes the form of an old man. Symbols, we have a lantern, seeing things in the light that were once hidden in darkness, illumination. We have a staff. This walking stick helps the hermit walk on the right, righteous path and represents going on an inner spiritual journey. We have have sunlight at night for enlightenment, and how fitting when you got the Enchantress of enlightenment. We have mountaintop setting, the height of spiritual awareness. So, you know, going on your spiritual journey here, you have to knock some humility back into yourself, some direct meanings, introspection, self-evaluation and discovery, solitude, seeking spiritual understanding and guidance, providing spiritual guidance to others. Shadow meaning loneliness, being self-absorbed, neurotic, introspection. Angelic message, helping others helping others who seek spiritual guidance is commendable. A spiritual guide can have great influence over the student. Take care not to abuse or become abused by the power of this role. You know, the hermit has the star in the lantern there, and the star is the energy of Aquarius. So you know, it's keeping our faith and holding on to hope and seeing the bigger picture and believing in miracles. And we have to take that star out of that lantern and share it with the world around us. All right, let's see what's going on in the love department for you this month of September, Aries. So this can include yourself, it can include your family, your friends, significant other, literally anywhere that you have love. So if you're like, hey Gigi, I really love my job, I really love the people I work with, the people I get to interact with, you know, I really love my hobbies, then guess what? That is all included here as well. So, all right, we do have the Bull. Do not back down from opposition. Show strength and fortitude. Now, when the Bull comes up, I do feel Taurus energy. So you could have Taurus in your birth chart somewhere. You could be dealing with a Taurus or someone with Taurus in their birth chart. Petey, quit. Sorry, you guys. She is working my nerves today. We have the broken ring, parting of the ways in either romance or business. So, you know, especially if you're dealing with someone that is a bully, you know, that could be why things are falling apart at the seams, whether it's romantic or business. So, you know, whatever relationship comes up to you first that you feel is broken, then that is the one that broken ring is talking about. It doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get divorced, but you know, it could. There are so many of us, so the possibilities are literally endless. But we do have this well for family wishes come true. So, you know, these wishes involve your whole family. You also have the lily for spiritual love. You know, it feels like you're going on a spiritual journey here this month of September. You also have the vase for secret admirer. You know, maybe this vase, you can put your lilies in it there, but someone thinks very highly of you. You also have the teapot, deep friendship with someone of the same sex. So, you know, you're going to get together, you're going to spill the tea, you know, maybe having someone else's perspective on things, you know, helps you see things in a new light, in a new way, and through the eyes of love and forgiveness. All right, let's see what's going on in career and finance for you this month of September, Aries. I always like to know what's going on with my money. I'm always like, hey, yo, give me $1 million. You know, like, how nice would it be if you woke up tomorrow and there's just $1 million sitting in your accounts? I'd be like, yep, I manifested that. Give me, show me the money, because I need it. No joke. All right. Ooh, you got the lobster financial pinch coming in. But y'all, when the lobster comes through, I'm like, look, if you can afford to buy lobster, if you got lobster money, you're not doing too bad for yourself unless you're living above your means, you know, and, you know, you really got to watch that. Maybe there are things you need to cut out, you know, whether it's going out to eat all the time, or, you know, maybe you need to make some meals at home, you know, I don't know. Everybody's situation is different. But you got the carrot here, opportunity or windfall. So, you know, from the good green earth, all the good that you've been putting out into the environment, your hard work, right? Because you have the leg, you're stepping into a new experience and you're putting your best leg, your best foot forward here. Ooh, you got the star, you're guaranteed success. And like I said up here with the Hermit, the star is the energy of Aquarius. You could have Aquarius in your birth chart somewhere, or be dealing with someone with Aquarius in their birth chart. And again, it's totally okay if you don't know. You know, we're not going to know everyone's birth chart, right? But you're guaranteed success. Shine your light out into the world around you. You have the tortoise slowly but surely getting ahead. So, you know, I feel like you're pulling yourself up by the bootstraps to get out of this, you know, situation. And maybe you grew up very poor, and you know, sometimes that sticks with us because back when we were a child, we depended on our parents, you know, so we didn't have a say-so in where we lived and everything else, you know. But then you grow up and you're the one making the rules, right? All right, we have the desk. Pay attention to your work. Slow down, you guys. Maybe you're going back to school, or maybe you're taking on, you know, some classes, or doing some research to, you know, better yourself, better your situation. So slow down. You know, you're slowly but surely going to get ahead. You're guaranteed success. Put in the effort. You also have the egg. Success assured with good plans and hard work. So literally right there telling you, and that's a golden egg, a golden opportunity making its way to you this month of September. So looking pretty good, other than that financial pinch there in career and finances. All right, let's see what's going on in life for you this month of September, Aries. You know, life do be lifing a little too hard sometimes. You know, your girl here is like, hey, yo, life, why don't you pump your brakes, use some Vaseline? And life's like, nah, bro, you can handle it. And I'm like, just because I can don't mean I want to. You know, I'd like my address to be on Easy Street sometimes, you know, like sign me up for some smooth sailing. All right, you have the haystack. Karma, you will reap what you have sown. So either that makes you feel really good, really happy, or maybe not so good, depending on what you've been putting out into the universe. We do have a dagger. Fear, worries, tense situations. And look, it is raining and lightning in that picture, them clouds, but it can't rain all the time, you guys. You do have the cobweb, protected from negative forces beyond your control. So I feel like you really fall under the umbrella of someone very powerful's protection, whether they're on this side or they have crossed over. It doesn't matter. They got you, and your guides and your angels have you too. We also have whale. Great worry over nothing. Do not turn a small fish into a whale of a problem. Don't make mountains out of molehills. All right, we have the sunrise. New creative ideas, new ventures, a fresh start, a whole new lease on life coming in the next sunrise. I love it. You do have the fly, a period of ill health, depression. So checking in with your mental health, you guys. I feel like it's heart related, and I keep getting that with you guys so much. So whoever's watching or whoever gets this message, please go get your heart checked out, or someone around you needs to go get their heart checked out if it's not you personally. And I feel like you've been telling this person, go get it looked at, go get it looked at, and they're like, nah bro, I'm stubborn, I'll do it later when I'm not so busy or something. Or maybe that's your attitude, who knows. All right, we are going to get a message from the moon. The moon is all about changes in our lives. You know, the moon herself goes through her changes, her cycles, her phases from new to full. She is beautiful, wonderful, and amazing in whatever phase she happens to be in, and so are you. So let's get some messages from Mama Moon here for Aries this month of September. What is it that Aries needs to know? We have a time to give rather than take. New moon in Virgo. Lots of earth energy. You know, you've had Taurus, you've had Virgo show up twice now. You've had water, and you've had, let's see, Aquarius, which is air. You just need some fire now. Well, I guess you got the sunrise. I guess that's close. Let's see if there's another one here for you this month of September. And we have nothing is yet set in stone. Mutable moon. Ooh, okay, mutable moon. Let's see what we get here with these messages. A time to give rather than take. New moon in Virgo. All right. So some meanings, you know, are gradual improvements are coming. Yes, love it. You know, slowly but surely getting ahead. Pay attention to detail that came up with the death. Slow down, you know, if you want success without being pedantic. Be of service to others. That came through, you know, with the Hermit up there. And love and money will follow. The person you're asking about, if you're asking about a person, is reliable. You can count on them. Attune with the moon. Recommit to healthy morning and evening routines. You know, start the day with, I am grateful and thankful for this day. I'm welcoming happiness in. I'm welcoming peace, harmony, balance, whatever it is that you're wanting to draw to yourself. And, you know, at night, maybe you unplug an hour or two before bedtime. Maybe you wind down with a meditation, and, you know, maybe you find you're sleeping better, you're feeling better when you do these routines. All right, mutable moon. Let's see, mutable moon. Not sure where. Nothing is yet set in stone. Mutable moon. So mutable is all about change, shape-shifting, even that something is still developing. So you're meandering towards your goal, and that's okay. You know, slow and steady wins the race. It doesn't matter how slow it's going. Staying adaptable is the key to success for you now. Make sure you're not being led astray. Have you become distracted? It's time to focus. Stay with it, whatever it means to you. You know, trusting and believing that you're on the right path at the right time. And attune to the moon. I know that the best will unfold for me. Yes, I know that the best will unfold for me. All right, we're gonna get an animal spirit tarot guide message here for you. Who would like to be your spirit animal for this month of September for Aries, and what is the message that they have for you? All right, we have the Four of Winter, the koala showing up here. It says, thoroughly think things through before making a decision. Don't be rash, don't let your anger or your sadness or your depression or whatever the case may be, dictate, right? Continuing to overanalyze, making that well, the fish into a well, isn't going to get you any closer to a resolution. But meditation and prayer will bring the answers you seek. So, pray about it, meditate about it, think about it long and hard before you just throw it to the wind and be like, whatever, All right, let's get a fairy dust message for you this month of September, Aries. Let's see what else you need to know here. Okay. One more, maybe? This one. Ooh. So you got fairy wings. In the forest, small lights glow. Those are fairies flying low. Oh, I love it. Okay, maybe you hear their little wings, because you also have butterflies. Whenever you see a butterfly flutter through the grass, it is to remind you of the love of those who have passed. And when you think of someone, when you see that butterfly, let them know you love them too. You love them, you miss them, you're thinking about them, and know that they feel the exact same way. But they're also like, just my body passed, my soul, my spirit is still alive, it's still around, All right, let's get a Star Seeds mini deck message here for you this month of September, Aries. Let's see what else you need to know. And I keep wanting to say Virgo for some reason. Well, I mean, you got, what, 2 Virgo cards? Maybe that has something to do with it. All right, let's see. You got patience, young grasshopper. Ooh, that can be a dirty word. Be patient and allow destiny to unfold at its own pace. It is divine timing. Do not rush, you guys. Do not go out where your angels refuse to go. We have gratitude. Universal love shines through the miracles of life all around you. Love it. Yes, we have free spirit. To be a free spirit is to float without walls, to fly without judgment, and to love without conditions. Ooh, I love it. You got some really good messages here for this month of September, Aries. So I hope you enjoyed the messages here. If you did, please drop me a comment down below. Let me know. Make sure you smash the heck out of that like button, that old thumbs up button down there. Hit it with the razzle dazzle, especially if you would like a bonus in your next month's reading. If you haven't already and you find you keep coming back here, please subscribe to the channel, you guys. That truly means so very much to me. I love growth. I love expansion. I love being able to interact with you guys. It really does bring a lot of joy into my life. You are part of the teamwork that makes this dream work. I wouldn't be able to do it without all of you. So I'm very grateful and very thankful for each and every single one of you. September, my goodness, your guides and your angels, really spoke here about letting go of the past. It doesn't define who you are. Maybe it did shape you, because of course it did, right? But you can stand up for yourself. You can stand your ground. And as you're learning to let people and things that want to fall away, just let them go. It will actually help you more in the long run, even though it hurts at the time. But that's it's one of the ways you heal, you guys. And you know, look at that. You got the carrot, you got the star, like so much goodness there in your career and finances. That really blew me away. Yes, you need to watch what you spend. We all do, especially you know, September transitions, if you're in the same hemisphere as me, from summer to fall. So it tends to be a leaner time the deeper we get into the month, you know, sometimes for certain places. Here in Oklahoma, it can still be pretty hot, and you know, things can still be growing and you can still harvest your carrots, you know. But also, maybe you got the haystack and maybe you're like, you know what, I need to be more mindful and aware of what I'm putting out into the universe, because I want a big, bountiful harvest. I want good things to come my way. And be mindful of what's going on in your mind. What are you telling yourself? What are you saying about yourself? What are you saying about the situations or other people, you know, or even about the future? You know, you want to speak as positively as you can over yourself, over others, over situations, and especially about the future, because it's not yet written in stone. You know, you had that with that mutable moon, that nothing is yet written in stone until it's the past. So you got a blank canvas and you can create whatever you want, paint whatever you want. So why not create a masterpiece for yourself? All right, Aries, from the bottom of my heart, I want to say thank you, blessed be, namaste, and goodbye.